at church. We need to celebrate our Father God for bringing us together. How are you? Good. Moderately better. How are you? Good. A little bit better. Oh my gosh. Do you know what? Do you guys remember my name? I heard my name in that most beautiful prayer this morning. Nobody remembers my name. Even the people who've known me for years don't remember my name. I'm so sad. What's my name?
Miss Kori.
Thank you. How are you? I'm Miss Kori. I'm so happy to be here. Do you think you guys could give me just 1 minute to kind of get my pile up here organized? Would that be okay? Would that be all right? You, amazing. Because, believe it or not, while we're talking today, I'm going to have a couple of you help me. Are you game? You up for it? I see some nods, half-heartedly. Just like you're, how are you? I'm good. You're half-heartedly saying, yes, I'll help you, Miss Kori. Okay. I'm going to have you guys help me a little bit as we go along. Can you all see our screen up there okay? Okay. Because what we're going to talk about today with Miss Kori really is a story that's told best through pictures. Because we can't get together as much as I wish we could and bundle ourselves up and pack a suitcase and go to all these amazing places in the world. We just can't do that today, right? So we're going to do something that's as best as we can do. And we're going to tell some of these stories through pictures. So I want to make sure that you guys can see that screen up there okay. 2 thumbs up? 2 thumbs up. Awesome, awesome. Are we doing better? If I ask you how you are you going to say better? How are you? Better. You're great. Who said that? Amen, sister. I have to tell you, Miss Kori is so absolutely honored and privileged to be in this space with each and every one of you. This is such a gift to me today. Those of you who helped me this morning unpack all of my stuff, you made my heart sing. And my heart is singing even louder right now, looking at all of your faces. You are beautiful. You are important. You are so smart. Even if I just met you like 2 seconds ago, I know that about you. And so I thank you for sharing the gift of you with me today. Thank you so much for that. I could think of no other better way to spend the day than with each and every one of you. This is such a privilege to me. So thank you guys for having me to visit with you. Thank you for that. Okay? So again, what we're going to be talking about today is what? Do you remember what Miss Jessica said? What are we talking about today? Do you remember her? Turkey. Now, are we talking about what we eat for Thanksgiving dinner? No. What are we talking about? What kind of turkey are we talking about? Do you know? The country of Turkey. And this, as Miss Jessica said, I hope and I pray will help you guys earn this most beautiful badge. Miss Jessica sent me some information about the badge, the World Heritage Badge. And there's so many cool things that you guys are going to be doing to earn this. And again, I just feel so privileged that I get to be a small part of what you're going to be accomplishing. And I want you to make me a promise. Will you make me a promise? After we're done talking today, and after I leave, and after our time together in this beautiful, wonderful, holy space comes to an end today, will you guys promise to keep in touch with me and let me know about the other things that you're doing to make your World Heritage Badge happen? Would you do that for me? I would just love to hear more about what you've done to accomplish all of these beautiful things. So thank you for sharing that with me too, okay? So yeah, my name is Kori, and oh my gosh, even if you and I just met 5 minutes ago, we've never seen each other before in our lives, even if that's the case, I'm willing to bet that you can use a clue that just popped up to help you get to know a little something about me. So I'm willing to bet that even if we just met like 2 seconds ago, you guys already know something about me. What do you know about me? Oh my goodness, what told you that? Those pictures up there. I love animals. I love all sorts of animals. Do you know what? I even like, and don't tell anybody this, but I even like spiders. I love animals. Do any of you guys like animals? Look at all of these hands. Not every hand is up. Oh my goodness. Most of us raise our hands. Most of us love animals too. Do you know what? That's something that we have in common. I do think when people first meet and they're first becoming friends and they're first learning about each other, do you think it's important and a really good thing to maybe find something that you have in common? I think so too. I think that's a really great thing, a great place to start when you're getting to know each other. You might ask a new friend, you might say something like, well, what's your favorite movie? And someone might say, well, what's your favorite movie? Do you have a favorite movie? You don't have a favorite movie? Do you have a favorite movie? What? Do you have a favorite movie?
Yeah. It's like the Care Bears movie. It's like
The Care Bears movie. Do you know what? I love the Care Bears movie. Even when I was a little girl your age, I loved Care Bears. They are awesome. I used to have a Care Bear, and I would snuggle with my Care Bear, and I'd watch the old Care Bear movie all the time. What a great thing to have in common, right? We both love Care Bears. Okay, someone over here, who has a favorite movie? What's your favorite movie, love? What is it? Lord of the Rings? Oh my gosh. Not even kidding you. I love the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Have you ever read the book?
No, but my dad and I are reading The Hobbit.
Reading The Hobbit. Oh my gosh. Not only do I love the movies, but I love the books too. What a great thing to have in common, right? We have so much that we can talk about, that we share. But do we also have things about us that are unique only to us? Sure we do. God made each and every one of us different. So while we have all these beautiful things in common, we also share things, or we often also contribute things that are uniquely just ours. And that's kind of the framework that I want to sort of use to approach today. Okay, so when we learn about Turkish culture, the people of Turkey, the landscapes of Turkey, this strange new place, I want you to look at these pictures, and I want you to think about, what do we share in common with people from Turkey? What do we have that's the same, right? But we can also take a look at some of these pictures and experience some of these things and think about, wow, that's really different from anything that I've ever known. And I want to celebrate both of those things, okay? So we're going to do a little comparing and contrasting while we look at these images and while we talk about this new culture, okay? So think about the things that we share in common, but also celebrate all of those beautiful, wonderful things that we have that might make us a little bit different. Yeah. The bottom right. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is a great question. First of all, I have so much I'm going to tell you today, so much I have on my heart to share with you that I think we're going to be here till Tuesday. Is that okay with everybody? Rock on. Okay, wonderful. So what is that strange animal on the lower right-hand side? First of all, up here in the upper right-hand side, I love birds. Birds are my thing. That's a kestrel up there. On the top left, or the top right, I should say, anybody know what that guy is? A goat, a baby goat. I love baby goats. The bottom left-hand side, that's a big old snake. That's called a Cuban boa. That's a constrictor snake, and she was so excited. I think I can talk about this in a holy space. When I held that boa constrictor, she was so gentle and so relaxed and so pleased to be snuggling with me. Guess what she did? She pooped. All over me. She did. So that's a boa constrictor, and in the middle is an American crocodile. Anybody ever held a crocodile before? Oh my gosh, anybody want to? They are so cool. No, you don't want to. They have sharp teeth, don't they? And then, of course, the question was about that lower right-hand corner one. That, I get to work with children in 3 different different countries. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that as we go along. But I work with children just like you guys in Turkey, the place we're going to learn about today, another country called Rwanda, which is right smack dab in the middle of Africa, and then the third country where I get to work with kids just like you guys is in a country called Cuba. And that little animal up there is only found in Cuba. And it's called a judía. Everyone say judía. Judía. Say it again, judía. 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 It's kind of like a big beaver or a big rat. And it was so cute. So that's called a judía. Definitely an animal that we don't see around here, right? All right, kiddos. So I get to put on a kind of a unique hat with you guys today. Some of you, like Ruby Mae Brinker and Gigi, my love, you guys might know me. Can I know any of you others? You all have masks on, so it's hard to know. We've met before, of course we have. Some of you know me in different ways, but today, my hat is going to be representing an organization. Is your hand going up? The hat that I'm going to put on today is representing an organization called Children Are the Hope. And that's an organization that I actually started about 10 years ago. And I started Children Are the Hope because I love, want to take a guess? Children. I do. And I love teaching children, and I love sharing stories with children just like you. And I wanted to help kids just like you guys get to know the world around them in a really colorful and special way. And so that's what I try to do, is connect young people in Wisconsin to their global peers in these 3 different partner countries. Okay? Now, what I'd like to do to help you understand a little bit more about Children Are the Hope is I'd like to dissect that title a little bit. Do you guys know what dissecting is? You ever heard that word? Kind of a big word, isn't it? Dissecting. Anybody ever heard it? Maybe some of the elders. What does dissecting mean? Yes, my love. What does it mean to dissect something? You take it apart, right? And usually we think about dissecting from a science perspective. So we might, and I know it sounds kind of gross, but we might dissect a frog, which means we kind of take apart the frog. It's dead, of course. But we might take apart that frog, and we might look at all the pieces of that frog to figure out what makes that frog a frog, right? Well, we don't just have to dissect animals, do we? We can dissect anything. We could dissect this pew and figure out what piece is going to make this pew a pew. You could, if you wanted to, and I don't think any of us will, but we could dissect Mom and Dad's car. I know, right? And we could take that car apart and look at all the pieces of that car's puzzle. Well, we're going to dissect the pieces of this puzzle that you see up on the screen here, just to kind of, again, build a framework through which we're going to learn today. So what's the first piece of our puzzle up there in our title? What's the first piece?
A branch of a leaf.
What's that? It is up there in the pictures. There's a leaf, and then there's a hand, and then that's a bird footprint. Did you know that? Yeah, that's our logo. That's a picture that represents a lot of what we do. Let's dissect those words. What's the first word? You guys know this. What is it? What is it, honey? Children. So, who are the children? Somebody said. Yeah, all of you, right? And in a very important way, are even old people children? Someone said yes. Are we all children of God? Yeah, no matter how old we are, even if we're old, right? We're all children. So what we're going to learn about today, I really want you to remember that this is important for all of us, not just young people, but all of us, no matter how old we are. So we're all children. This is a story about all of us. We're going to skip over the second and third piece, the are, the, but I want to go to that fourth piece. What's that fourth piece? Oh my goodness. What's that fourth piece? What is it? You know that word? Hope. If I ask you ladies to define or put meaning to the word hope? Would any of us be able to do it? What is hope? What is hope? I think this is a really great place to be talking about this. Hope, you guys, is one of my favorite words. In fact, today I wore my Children of the Hope shirt just for you guys. I dug out my favorite ring. I don't wear this very often because I don't want to lose it. But what does it say on my ring? Can you tell? It says hope on it. I even have hope earrings and a hope bracelet. Couldn't find either of them this morning, but I hope to find them soon. So hope, what is it? What is it? You believe you can do something. It's that belief inside of us, isn't it? I love that definition. Any other ideas? That belief that maybe something could be better, or that faith that we feel inside of us that something could be better, right? I hope that we all have hope. And sometimes when we start learning about different cultures, sometimes the stories that we hear can be kind of sad or kind of hard to hear. Maybe we hear about a country that's really poor, or maybe we hear about a country that is suffering from war. And I want you to know that that's okay. That hope is important to that, okay? So all of the stuff that we're going to see today, I just want to keep that hope inside, all right? Can you do that for me? Yeah. The pictures that we're going to see today are very happy and very interesting, I think. But again, as you dive deeper into the Turkish culture and the other countries that you're going to study, maybe some of the stories that you hear might make you a little bit sad. And I want you to know that that's okay. Because you know what? There's always what? There's always hope, isn't there? Okay? So that's a little bit about Children Are the Hope. That's all of us coming together to make the world a better place. And I think that's pretty cool. Now, I happen to need a couple very brave volunteers. None of the littles? Oh my goodness, we do have someone. Okay, I'm going to have you, my love, come up. And I am going to have, look at all, who to choose. Oh my goodness, so hard. Did I come up with that? Okay, very brave, right? Okay, now I'm so glad you have name tags on because we have Tegan, right? And then we have Mary. Okay, Tegan and Mary are going to help us out. I'm going to do something to Tegan and Mary that's going to take just a minute. So I'm going to have you guys be patient with me, okay? But I want you to watch what's going on up here. You got it? 2 thumbs up still? Everybody's awake? Okay, here we go. Now, Tegan, this is going to be a little bit big on you. But that's okay, right? Pull it down, okay? And I should rest. I can see that. And I'm going to tie it, okay? How do you feel? Good? You ready, Mary? Yeah. All right, come in, kid. I'm hoping this will go right over your head. What do you think, guys? Strange? I see a thumbs up out there. Kind of silly? Oh my goodness, y'all are wishing you volunteered, aren't you? All right, darling. These sleeves are kind of tricky, so just squeeze on in there. Are you in there? Okay. Are you stuck? You're never coming out. Okay. Turn around and show everybody. I'm going to tie you in the back, give you a bow. Is she gorgeous? Is she gorgeous? Oh my goodness, she's gorgeous. Tegan, are you gorgeous? Do you feel like a queen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we're not done yet. All right, Tegan gets to wear my beautiful Turkish necklace. And Mary I'm going to have you put this on. And I'm going to help you with this, okay? Kind of like a mask, isn't it? Okay. Okay, where are you? There you are. Okay. Are you doing okay? Are you sure? Okay. And then, let's see. I'm going to have Tegan. You ready, Fred? He's like, I don't know. There, just like that. Right? Giggle, giggle, giggle. If that gets uncomfortable, you just let me know, okay? So Tegan and Mary, you're going to help me out a little bit, okay? Do you think you could keep those on for just a little while? You think you could do that? Okay, because before we get to what Tegan and Mary are wearing right now, I want to ask you guys a question. We're talking about a different culture today, right? And Tegan and Mary are obviously illustrating that for us. They're showing us a different culture. Culture is a word that we hear all the time. It's sort of like the word hope. But if I asked you guys to define the word culture, how would you do that? Nobody's raising their hand. It's a hard thing to define, isn't it? It's a hard thing to put a meaning to. I saw a hand up here. What is culture?
It's kind of like the history of that place.
I love it. It's a group of people's story, right? It's their history. History is a part of culture. Maybe these words would help us out. You doing okay up here, girls? Mm-hmm. Yeah? You're looking kind of nervous. Are you nervous? Tegan. All right. So maybe these words will help us understand a little bit more about what culture is. And you're exactly right. Different cultures around the world have different histories. They have different stories. Different cultures around the world also have different what? Use these words as hints up there. Can you read them? Different cultures have different, what else? Traditions. If we look at different cultures around the world, different groups of people around the world, they certainly have different traditions. Different what? Different foods. How many of you have ever eaten at Jose's? I love Jose's. Jose's is Mexican food. So different cultures have different types of foods. Different cultures have different types of what else? What else? Holidays. Do all cultures of the world celebrate July 4th the way we celebrate July 4th? Absolutely not. So different cultures around the world have different holidays. What else?
Language. Music.
What is it?
Music.
Absolutely. Different types of music. If we look at different traditional Russian music versus traditional Native American music from our Ho-Chunk communities around here, they're going to sound completely different. And if you have different types of music in different cultures, you also must have different types of dancing. Absolutely. So again, if we look at traditional, oh, Tegan, you're falling apart here. If we look at traditional dances from, say, Rwanda in the middle of Africa, and then look at our traditional Native American or Ho-Chunk dances around this region, they're going to look totally different. So they have different types of dances. Do they have different types of architecture? Different types of houses? Absolutely. What else, please?
They speak different languages.
They do. Different cultures around the world speak different languages. Hola. What language do they just speak? Spanish? Yeah, absolutely. You bet. So they have different types of languages, different types of governments, even different types of faith systems, different types of clothes. True? Absolutely, yeah. When we look at Turkey today, we're going to kind of dissect again Turkey into these little pieces of their culture. And that's going to be kind of fun. So when you go forward and study other cultures as well, or continue learning about Turkey, I encourage you to kind of think about culture in these terms, okay? But again, we're looking at things that are different, but also things that make us the same. So in that spirit, I say finally, welcome to Turkey, ladies. Welcome to Turkey. Now, let's see. There we go. Now finally, poor Mary and Tegan, what in the world are you wearing? Do you have any idea? No, not really. Okay, I'm going to have you, Tegan, step right into the middle, and maybe that will help you guys see these two beautiful girls a little bit more. Oftentimes, countries around the world will take a specific type of clothing, like a shirt or a skirt or even a robe, and they'll make it their national piece of clothing. Now here in the United States, we don't really have a national piece of clothing, but many other countries do. And so I'd like to introduce Turkey to you through clothes today. So what Mary and Tegan are wearing are certainly pieces of clothing from Turkey. I'm going to pick on Tegan first, okay? Because Tegan is actually wearing the national piece of clothing, the national robe of Turkey. So this robe that she's got on right now is called a kaftan. Can you say kaftan? Yeah, kaftan. Kind of a fun word to say. The kaftan, what's that?
It's like cafe.
It sounds like cafe, doesn't it?
Really big.
I know, right? This is a kaftan though. And a kaftan, that type of robe that Tegan's wearing, dates back hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years in the Turkish culture. And so, again, this is a very traditional type of piece of clothing that Tegan is wearing. On both Tegan and Mary, they have this silly thing on their head, don't they? They're wearing a head covering. Now, I'm going to come over to Mary here because hers is more traditional. This is called a hijab. Can you guys say hijab?
Hijab.
Yeah, a hijab is a traditional head covering that many women in Turkey will wear. And it's part of their faith system. So it's kind of an interesting tie back to their faith. Tegan also is wearing a type of hijab, but it's more like a scarf. Okay? Now Mary, her dress, I'm going to lift up your hijab here for just a second. There we go. Mary's dress is more of a modern Arab style of dress. And that's the region of the world where Turkey is found. It's called the Middle East. And those are the Arab countries. And this was actually a dress that I found down in Madison. And I know part of your World Heritage badge is to maybe visit a store or a grocery store, that kind of thing, that represents the culture of the country that you're studying. There's some really, really, really great Turkish markets in Madison. So if you guys ever want to visit there, you just let me know and I'll tell you exactly where to go. This dress I actually found down at one of those little markets. It's more of a modern style of dress that some women in Turkey might wear. So something that you might see today if you went to visit. Now we're going to come back to Mary and Tegan in a little while. So if you want to, you can actually sit down for a bit, okay? And Tegan, especially if this starts doing this sort of thing, you can take it off. And Mary, if you can't breathe under there, you can take that off too, okay? But again, I should say that Tegan's necklace here is a piece of silver jewelry that was made in Turkey. So you guys will be able to come and try that on later as well, okay? Thanks, ladies. Can you see your way? Rock on. All right. So where in the world is this place called Turkey? So it's kind of hard to see up here. Let's see if my point. Oh my gosh, look at that. Over here is a continent called North America. And what state do we live in? Wisconsin. You got it. Yeah. Well, we travel all the way across the rest of North America, and then we hop on this little blue thing. There's a blue thing in there. What's that? On a map, what's blue? The water's blue, right? So it's the ocean. So we got to cross over this ocean. We got to go over Europe, and oh my gosh, you can hardly see it, but there's this little oval country, and that's called Turkey. Now, anybody want to take a wild and crazy guess as to how many miles away from Baraboo, Wisconsin, the middle of Turkey is? Just a wild and crazy guess. I'll even open this up to moms and dads. I don't know. How many? Ruby May. You are brilliant. How did you guess that? It's up there, isn't it? It's 5,662 miles away to the main school that I work with in central Turkey. So is this place right across the road? No, this is really, really far away. Now, it's kind of cool to think about what Turkey actually looks like. And I love this picture because it's as if all of us hopped onto a spaceship and we sort of shimmied on over to Turkey, and we look down onto the top of Turkey. So this is a satellite image looking down onto the top of Turkey. And what's so interesting about this, I'm going to point out a couple of things here. Remember we talked about the blue stuff on a map? What's up here and down here? Water. Yeah, water. So on two sides of this ovally kind of country, there's the Mediterranean Sea down here, and there's the Black Sea up here. So on two sides, it's surrounded by water, which is kind of cool. Now, I had asked someone earlier, and I can't remember who it was, if they knew something about Turkey and they knew which continent it was on. Who was I talking to that said, it was you, my dear. And what did you say? Which continent is Turkey on? Europe. I love that answer. Guess what, ladies? Turkey is this is going to be on a test later. You have to remember this. This is so cool. It's going to be on a test. Turkey is the only country on planet Earth. So think about how big planet Earth is. The only country on planet Earth that's actually on two continents. One of them is Europe. You nailed that one. What would the other one be? Anybody want to take a guess? Part of it's in Europe and part of it's in not North America. Remember we had to cross over half of North America and then go across the ocean and then we were in Europe, but then we get to Asia. So Turkey, when someone asks you, this is your trivia, it's just going to blow people's minds. You're going to say, how many continents is Turkey on? And then they're going to say 2. They say, what are they? And it's Europe and Asia, the only country on planet Earth that's actually on 2 continents. So over here, this part is Europe, and over here, that part is Asia. Isn't that cool? Now, oftentimes when people start learning about the Middle Eastern countries or countries in that part of our world, Turkey included, they might get this image in their mind. They don't know very much about Turkey. They're like, oh my gosh, the Middle Eastern countries, that's where who's from? Who is this?
Aladdin.
It's Aladdin. And he's got Jasmine. They're hanging out on magic carpet, and good old Abu is over there as well. But you know what? Do you think there's more to Turkey than just Aladdin and Jasmine and Abu and magic carpet and these really cool buildings?
Yeah.
You think so? It's sort of like saying, ladies, that the only thing important about Wisconsin is cheese. Is that true?
Yeah.
That's not true, is it? We've got all kinds of stuff that makes us special. And so what might some of those special things be? Well, you guys told me that different cultures have different types of languages, right? And you also know from those first pictures that Miss Kori loves animals. One of my favorite animals. Do you want to take a wild and crazy guess? Cats. I have 2 kitties at home and I love them to pieces. One of them is named Misu, which is a Cuban word for kitty. So I have a kitty named Kitty. Misu. And the other one, ladies, his name, and he's the most gorgeous cat ever. He's orange and white. His name is Keddy. Everyone say Keddy.
Keddy.
Keddy. Keddy is spelled K-E-D-I. Keddy is the Turkish word for kitty. So you know some Turkish language already. Say Keddy. Keddy. You said kitty. Now this kitty, I love Turkish kitties. This kitty lives in a big city in Turkey called Istanbul. We're going to visit Istanbul in a little while. But this little kitty wanted to teach you some more Turkish language. Everyone say merhaba.
Merhaba.
One more time, merhaba.
Merhaba.
One more time, just so it sticks in your brain, merhaba.
Merhaba.
Anyone want to take a guess as to what I just said or what you just said? In Turkish, what did we say? We did say merhaba, but wait, I guess could we translate it to English? What do you think merhaba means in English, in our language? Do you have any idea? We know Keddy means kitty, but what does merhaba mean?
Hello.
Hello. So merhaba. Merhaba. Thank you. Merhaba. You guys are going to be fluent in Turkish by the time we get done. So merhaba. You know, oftentimes when we start learning about different subjects, whether it's math or English language arts or social studies or even science, a lot of times our teachers just throw a lot of facts at us and we're supposed to memorize them, right? Well, I'm going to throw a bunch of facts at you really, really quickly. You don't have to memorize them, though, okay? Anybody know the official name of Turkey? Shout it out, girls. Republic of Turkey. That's a big fancy name for Turkey. We're just going to call it Turkey, okay? What's the capital city? Ankara. Good job. What's our national capital, ladies? You guys know, the little over here? You don't know? The capital city of the United States of America is a big city called Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. Well, just like we have Washington, D.C., Turkey has Ankara. This is kind of like a 4th grade number up here. Population, humans. How many humans live in Turkey? Do you want to give that a stat? 80,694,408. Oh my goodness, that's a huge number, isn't it, ladies? That's like more than 2, isn't it? There's a lot of people that live in Turkey. But you know what? Here in our country where we live, we have almost 313 million people who live here. So is Turkey bigger or smaller in terms of humans? Smaller. It's smaller than the United States. Yeah. Do different cultures around the world have different types of money? They do. Like here, when you guys go to the toy store and you buy some pop rocks, some toys, right? We give them money.
You've always wanted.
I know. Should we ever go to the toy store after this?
Yes.
Okay, done and done. We have to give them money to buy a toy, right? Or some pop rocks. We spend United States dollars here. You guys hear that word a lot because we study it in school, right?
Yeah.
Dollars. But in other places in the world, their money has different names. In Turkey, they have a funny name for their language. It's called a lira. Can you say lira? Lira. I know, right? Oh my gosh. So if we went to a toy store in Ankara, Turkey, we would be spending liras. Yes, my love? What are pop rocks? Are you serious? I know. Yes, love?
My sister's in Lira, and it's spelled like that.
And it's spelled like that? Oh my gosh, you are going to have to tell her. Is she here today?
Well, she's one.
Oh, she's just 1? You are going to have to share this with her, even though she's 1. She's going to hear you. You can teach her about Turkey. That's fantastic. Language, you already know this. The official language of Turkey is Turkish. They speak other things there too, but Turkish is the main language. Religion. Turkey is a really interesting place where all sorts of religions come together. It's kind of like in Beirut, how we have all sorts of churches around our city, right? And people who can go to those different buildings, those different churches and worship. Well, in Turkey, they have all kinds of religions that come together as well. Government. This is kind of big stuff, but they have a very fancy name for their government. What is it? Anybody know? Someone who hasn't answered yet. Okay, you're too quiet. What's the name of their government? I'm going to pick on somebody pretty soon. What's the name of their government?
Republican Parliamentary Democracy.
That's a big, right? Republican Parliamentary Democracy. That's just a big fancy way to describe their government. Who's the leader of our government? Do you guys know the name? Like a title? We have a president. Yeah, the president is the leader of our country here. Well, Turkey has a president too. All you guys need to know is some parts of their government work similarly to ours and others don't. But that's the big title of their government. And the size. This is kind of cool, you guys. I'm going to do this because it's kind of a 5th grade number here. 302,533 square miles. Now, in parentheses, we've got 65,556 square miles. That's the size of Wisconsin. But does anyone in this room, moms included, have any idea what that means? If you're like me, I look at those numbers and I'm like, I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Can I show you something kind of cool? All right, if you look at this map, it's kind of hard to see here, but what's this shape right here? What is that? Where the dark black line is. What is that shape? Do you know? What is it? It's Wisconsin, isn't it? Good girl. I am so proud of you. That's the shape of Wisconsin. Well, this right and all that gobbledygook, what it's telling us is that Wisconsin is bigger or smaller than Turkey?
Bigger.
Wisconsin is smaller than Turkey. How many Wisconsins could we fit inside Turkey if we smushed it all together? Can I take a guess?
3, 4, or 5.
Yeah, like maybe 4 if we kind of went all kittywampus with Turkey, right? Or with Wisconsin. So Wisconsin is much smaller than Turkey. Those big fancy numbers are all I need to know. Now, the other thing I want to point out to you guys are these things down here. Now, to explain these a little bit more, I need another very brave volunteer. Who's going to help me? Oh my gosh. Do you want to help me with these? Come up here. I need another very brave volunteer. Oh my goodness. Gigi, come on up here, kiddo. You're going to help me too. All right, you ready for this? Okay. You're going to take that side right there. Take that corner. And Gigi, you're going to come over here and take this. And you're going to hold that up for everybody to see. Okay? Can you hold that up high? Awesome, blossom. What are these things, these images up on the picture? What are those things? What is this? What is it? Tell me.
Flag.
The national flag, right? What are the colors of our national flag? What are they? Red, white, and blue, our color guard. I just wanted to cry. Color guard friends, you did such a beautiful job today. And you carried our national flag so proudly and so gently. It's just, I wanted to cry. Red, white, and blue. This is what the Turkish national flag looks like. And it has this design on it. It's a crescent moon. You guys have seen a crescent moon in our star before, or in our sky before, right? And then right next door is a star. And the crescent moon and the star is very symbolic in Turkish culture, as is this red color, just like our red, white, and blue are symbolic in our culture. So this is what the national flag looks like. Now, Gigi and Olivia, beautiful Olivia, are holding something that I want you guys to remember, because it's going to come back to us in another picture. You got a mental image of this? Use your mental camera to take a picture of it. Got it? Crescent moon and the star? Okay, boom. You guys are rock stars. Thank you so much. Yay. All right. Now, is this Turkey, do you think? You guys can sit down. I'll tell you. Thank you. Is this a picture of Turkey? No, Ruben May's like, No, what is this a picture of? What is it, Ruben May? It is Wisconsin. How did you know that it's Wisconsin, Ruby? Because it's a very well-known image to us, right? We see the red barn, we see the corn fields and the soybean fields, we see the Bear Bluffs, right? We live in such a beautiful part of Wisconsin. So I want you to take a good look at this, because we're going to take a quick look at some of the landscapes of Turkey. Landscape, of course, is what nature looks like, right? What the land looks like, what the earth looks like there. Does this maybe look kind of familiar? Are there hills? Yeah. Are there trees? Yeah. Are there open areas like prairies? Yeah. We have all those same things here in Wisconsin too. But at the same time, it might look just a little bit different. What about this? What is this? Do you remember what the top and the bottom of Turkey were surrounded by? Water. So do you think they have beaches in Turkey? Yeah, beautiful coastal beaches like this. A little bit different than what we've got here. If we go to Devil's Lake, we've got a beach out there. But I don't think it looks like this one, does it? So this is another landscape that you might see in Turkey. Look at this. Wow. Have any of you gone sledding so far this winter? I think we should all, after we go to the toy store after this, I think we should all go sledding. You game? Awesome. Who wants to go sledding down some of these hills? I knew it. Somebody was going to be brave and daring. So they have also very big mountains in Turkey. Very different than what we got here. Check this out. Aren't these interesting? Do we have anything like this in the landscape of Wisconsin? No way, ma'am. These really interesting rock structures in Turkey are called fairy towers. Fairy towers. Do any of you have fairy gardens at home? I knew you would. Fairy gardens. So these are fairy towers. I want you to remember the idea of fairies, because we're going to come back to that idea in a little while as well, okay? Now, they also have some type of landscapes that are very similar to what we have here. This is a wetland. Do you guys know what a wetland is? What would make a wetland a wetland? Any ideas? What do you need to make a wetland a wetland?
Water.
You need water, right?
Yeah,
so they have water, of course. Yeah, right on.
They don't like land because then people wouldn't be able to walk. They'd have to always swim.
You would have to always swim, and that would just get exhausting. It's going to get too tired.
And then you wouldn't be able to rest somewhere.
Absolutely, I know. But you know what? In those landscapes, kiddos, there are different animals that live there. You know, Miss Kori loves her animals, right? Who can tell me the national flower? I should say, not only animals live there, but plants too, living things. Who can tell me the national flower of Turkey? What is it, kiddo? A tulip. Where else do we find tulips growing? Where else? In Miss Kori's garden? Maybe in your gardens by your house? So where else?
Yeah, maybe you'd see flowers growing in springtime or the summer.
Yes, I can remember my tulips pop up. Hopefully my tulips will pop up. Pray for my tulips, people. But do we have tulips in Wisconsin? What a great thing to have in common, right?
Yeah.
What is Turkey's national animal?
National animal.
What's their national animal? Shout it out. Gray wolves. Where else do we have gray wolves?
Right. Oh, I've heard.
Where else? In Wisconsin. Did you know we have gray wolves here? Another thing that we have in common with our sisters and brothers in Turkey. By the way, do any of you know what our national flower is? Do you know? Woodbine is our state flower, so 2 points for you. What's our national flower? Moms can answer this too. Anybody know? The rose is our national flower. Rose, yep. What's our national animal? Do you know? Do you know? Should I whisper it to you and then you can tell everybody? Tell everybody. Wow, how did you know that? It's a buffalo or a bison. That's our national animal. What's our national bird? What's our national bird? A bald eagle. We know that one. What's the national bird of Turkey? What is it? Wait a minute. A double-headed eagle? Have any of you ever seen a double-headed eagle before?
A double-headed eagle!
That's just crazy talk, isn't it? You know what's so cool about the national bird of Turkey?
Eagle that has double horns?
2 heads.
2 heads!
The national bird of Turkey only exists in stories, in myths and folk tales. So maybe a fun thing for you guys to do when you're working on the other parts of your World Heritage Badge is maybe you could do some searches on the internet to find out some of the myths and folk tales about double-headed eagles in Turkey, and then you can share them with me, okay? I think that'd be super duper fun. Yeah. So those are some of the animals that, oops, there we go. Now there's some other animals too that aren't quite as crazy as a double-headed eagle. What's another animal that we might find in Turkey? You know this one, kiddo? Horses, you bet. Now, do you guys know the term rural versus urban? What's rural mean?
Rural versus urban.
What's rural mean? Yeah, farmland or the country. Yep, not as populated. And then, of course, urban is like the busy cities. In the more isolated regions of Turkey, like the little villages, horses are really important. And they're important for a couple of different reasons. Horses and, what's this little guy? Donkeys. Don't you like Shrek? I love Shrek. This makes me think of Donkey and Shrek. Donkeys and horses are really important in Turkish culture in the rural areas because not only do they help people get around, but they help people haul their goods and their crops or their foods to market to sell. And so those are some other animals that are really important. Now, do different cultures around the world have different types of agriculture? Different crops that they grow, different animals that they might raise on farms? I see a thumbs up, and you're exactly right. Although some of the animals might look pretty similar to ours. What do we see up here? What are those things? Goats. And not a llama, although I love that you said the llama. They love that. That's actually a cow back there. So we have goats and cows. Well, of course, here in Wisconsin, we have goats and cows on farms too, right? And if you have goats and cows in agriculture in Turkey, you also must have the people who take care of them. And who are those people? What are they called?
Farmers.
Farmers. Do any of you ladies live on a farm? Do any of you live on a farm? Nobody? Have you ever visited a farm before? Yeah. So again, something that we have in common. And I love farmers because they give us all of our food, right? We wouldn't have food on our table without farmers. Yes, my love? It's Kori, I remember. Okay. Sounds good. So you also have farmers who grow the crops that provide us with food. Anybody want to take a guess as to what food this is? What are they harvesting here in Turkey? What food is this? Mary. Potatoes. Do we grow potatoes here in Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Yes, we do. Potatoes are also very important in Turkish culture. Now in Wisconsin, way up north, kind of in the belt area of our state, around the middle, that's where a lot of our potatoes are grown. But what a great thing to have in common, right? Potatoes. What do you think this crop is? We're still talking about agriculture and farming. What might this crop be? What is this food? It's out there drying in the sun. What do you think, kiddo? What is it? Figs? You are so smart. They're not figs, but I love that you said that. That's amazing. That's really a great guess. Oh my gosh, what are they? Cranberries. I love that you said cranberries, but cranberries are really important in Wisconsin culture, aren't they? They're not cranberries. One more guess. Did you remember? Or are you going to give it a guess? Blackberries are not blackberries either. I wonder if some of you had some of these for breakfast. Grapes? Oh, you had grapes for breakfast? Did you have grapes for breakfast? Oh, grapes. Well, here in this picture, those grapes are out drying in the sun. And what happens to grapes when they dry in the sun? What happens to them? They shrivel up and they then become what? Raisins. Yeah, so another very important crop in Turkey. How about this big old pile of something right there? I bet some of you had one of these for breakfast. What do you think, Tegan?
Raspberries.
Not raspberries, although I love raspberries. Did you have raspberries for breakfast? Not raspberries. What do you think these are?
Apples.
They're apples. Anybody have an apple for breakfast?
No.
Who's going to go home and have an apple? Me. Maybe even with some caramel. Oh, I love that. Apples are really important. I know. Where else do we grow apples? Right here in Berryville. Anybody ever been up to Sky High? Of course you have. So these are wonderful, really colorful and yummy things to have in common. Apples are important. All right. This one's going to be tricky. This is another crop, another food that's really important in Turkish culture. I'm going to take like 3 guesses as to what this might be. Oh my goodness, you got this, my dear. What are they? Beans? Not quite beans. Wonderful guess though. Oh, what are they, dear? Not quite. Your gears are just turning. You are brilliant. Do you think, what are they? One more guess. What are they? One more time. Chickpeas. You guys are so smart. They're not chickpeas though. Great guess. I don't think I brought any up here, but, no, I didn't. Do any of you like to eat Nutella?
Nutella? What's Nutella?
Some people call it Nutella, some people call it Nutella. Right. Tomato, right? Nutella. Do you know what Nutella is?
Yes.
I'm seeing some nods. Yeah, this is wonderful chocolatey stuff that you can put on toast or eat it with pretzels, or if you're like Miss Kori, you just kind of dig a spoon in it and eat it, right? Anybody with me? Say yes, Miss Kori, you're not weird at all. Okay, that's awesome. Those of you who know what Nutella or Nutella is, we know that there are two main ingredients that make that food. One is cocoa, the chocolatey part. What's the other part? Hazelnuts. So what are these women, these Turkish women, harvesting and drying? Hazelnuts. And I happen to have, I found these at Farm and Fleet, and they're wonderful. These are hazelnuts. 70%, so more than half of the world's hazelnuts come from where? Turkey. So next time you guys dip your spoon into Nutella and you think of Miss Kori, you're also going to think of what? Our friends in Turkey. You bet, absolutely. So that's another really important part of Turkish agriculture. Now, if you know that agriculture in Turkey has cows and goats and hazelnuts and what else do we talk about? Apples and grapes and all those good things, you might be wondering, well, what in the world, if we packaged ourselves up and flew on over to Turkey and we were hosted by a family there, what might the foods be that they would serve us? And this, my dears, is kind of what a traditional Turkish meal might look like. So do you have bread? Of course you do, and it might be like a potato bread. You have sauces and soups and vegetables and baklava, which some of you might have had baklava before. It's a sweet treat. You have the creams. And then there's these strange things down in these bowls. Can you see how they're kind of round? Yeah? Two guesses as to what those silly round things might be. Repeat me. Say it louder. Not hazelnuts. I love that you're on the hazelnut street, though. What do you think? Not quite. They're actually olives. Do any of you like to eat olives? Some of you. Grandpa likes olives. Some of us may go to a buffet and we find black olives on the buffet, and we stick them on our fingers, and they look all funny, right? Olives. Yeah. So olives are another important crop, another important food in Turkish culture. In the back, my dears, when we get back to look in the fellowship hall, I have a bunch of stuff from Turkey. A bunch of stuff. I have a lot of friends in Turkey who have sent me gifts and things so that I can share them with you and show them to you. And one of the things that they have sent me is a bottle of olive oil. And so when we get back there to look, I want you guys to see how beautiful that olive oil is. Okay? Let's see here. Now, when you're cooking in Turkey, and I know I did my homework, you guys. I know that for some of you, maybe for the older kiddos, one of the things you can do to earn your badge is cook a traditional meal from the country that you're studying. So when you cook a Turkish meal, and moms, I have a Turkish cookbook, and you are welcome to borrow it. If any of the girls want to do that, you are all welcome to borrow my Turkish cookbook. One of the things that you would add to your meal is a lot of these things. What are these things? Spices? Yeah, spices. I'm going to do something kind of fun here. I swear we're going to be here till Tuesday. I have so much to share with you. I have in this little container, it's a little powder, okay? And I'm going to give it kind of a gentle shake here. And I think I'm going to reach in as far as I can in our pews. And I'm going to have some of you take just a gentle smell. Okay? And we're going to try and figure out, now that we know that spices are really important in Turkish cooking, I'm going to have you guys try and figure out what this is. Okay? So even through your mask, you should be able to smell something. Okay? You can smell it. Do you know what that is? You guys smell it? After we're all done, for those of you who haven't gotten a chance to smell it, you can do that. Okay, so we're all going to have a chance to smell it. Do you know what that is? I love these expressions. Do you want to smell it? Some of you are like, any guesses as to what that smell might be? What do you think? Cumin. You're a cook, aren't you? You love to cook. Cumin? It's not cumin. Lewis, do you have any idea what this is doing? Does it smell familiar? Mom, do you have a smell?
It's like an oil or something.
Like an oil? Not like an oil. Good to go? Sure. Any more guesses? Some people, again, some people, they smell this, they're like, yeah, I like that. Other people are like, yeah, that smells like guinea pigs, dirty hens. Smells like the barn at the state fair. No more guesses. We got to guess with cumin over here. No more guesses? Well, I tell you what, I wonder. Okay. I think very, very quickly, we only got a couple more. Whoops, Danny, plan B.
Plan B is not here. We're going to see.
We only have a couple more images up here, and then we're going to get moving. But before we do that, I want to tell you about what this smell is. Remember, we just talked about spices, but I wonder if this has anything to do with spices. I need another very, 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 very brave volunteer. I'm looking to one of the older girls back there. Anybody? Oh, we have one! Come up here, love. Oh, come on. You're my family. Who wants to do it? Anybody? Come on up here, kiddo. Do you want to do it? I'm going to have one of these older girls do it. She's going to be an inspiration. And look at the thing quick. Wait a minute. Another Gigi? There's more than one? How amazing is that? Gigi, number 2, come up here. Okay. Now, Gigi, you have to remember you're among family. We love you to pieces. I adore you. You're taking one for the team. Okay? It's really not that bad. Gigi, number 2, is going to help us figure out what we just smelled. Okay? Now, in Turkish culture, when young women are about to become married, Gigi's like, man, what did I get myself into? There are a lot of traditions. You guys told me that in different cultures they have different types of traditions, right? Well, marriage traditions in Turkey are kind of unique. Now, Gigi, again, you're taking one for the team. You're getting married, okay? Now, just like in the United States, when young women are about to become married, we have a celebration. And here we call it a bachelorette party. And the girls get together and they have fun and they talk and they giggle, right? Well, in Turkey, they also have a celebration before the wedding happens where the bride and her very close friends, her girlfriends, get together and they celebrate. Now, Gigi, at her Turkish bachelorette party, if you will, would actually wear, and this is very special to me, my dear friends in Ankara gave this to me, so I feel very privileged that you get to wear this beautiful Gigi, okay? Gigi, when she's about to become married, would wear one of these, and it's a very special head covering, and it's red, and this one has bling on it, doesn't it? So when I put this on Gigi, this is how she would wear it. Isn't she beautiful?
Yeah.
Now, isn't she gorgeous? Now, the other part of how we would celebrate Gigi and her sort of entrance into this new part, this new beautiful part of her life, is we would do something with her hands. So, Gigi, I'm going to have you go like this. Okay. Now, have any of you ever heard of henna tattoos? Some of you have. Henna tattoos are typically associated with India, where the women have very intricate patterns painted on their hands, and they're very symbolic. Well, in Turkey, instead of having these intricate designs painted on Gigi's hands, what we would do as her friends to celebrate this new time of her life, where's your hands? There we go, is we would actually take this stuff that you just smelled, and we would add a little bit of water or oil to it, and we would mix it up, and we would paint it on her fingertips. I just told you what this stuff is. Do you remember? Remember what that was called? Henna? Yeah. So this isn't, I tricked you. I totally tricked you. This isn't a spice that you would eat, but it's certainly a smell that we would experience if we were to visit a Turkish market. So this silly smell that sort of smells like guinea pigs, right, is actually henna powder that we would use. Henna powder to celebrate Gigi's wedding. I think you are absolutely stunning. Thank you so much for doing this. You're beautiful. All right, kiddo, you're off the hook. Way to go, Gigi. All right. Now, if we were to go to a Turkish market, we only have a couple of things left, and then we're going to start moving around, okay? If we were to go to a Turkish market and experience all of these spices and these smells and all that kind of stuff, most likely we'd also be hearing something. It's kind of like if we go to a farmer's market here in Wisconsin. We not only have the smells of the foods there, but oftentimes we have what? Music? Yeah, so there's always music going. Music is very important in Turkish culture too, and they have all these beautiful, wonderful, very strange and exotic stringed instruments and percussion instruments and wind instruments. I know some of you have studied the different families of instruments, so you know what I'm talking about, like percussion and strings and the wind instruments where we blow into them. And you guys also told me that different cultures not only have different types of music, but if they have different types of music, they have different types of dance. So I'm going to say that it is time, Tegan and Mary, I want you to bring all of your beautiful friends back to the fellowship hall because we're going to boogie. Everybody's ready, right? Stand up, stretch. Stretch your wings. Come on back. Yay! This is not normal. times it's done in groups at weddings. And we also know something about the chicken dance, I should say, that when we're at a wedding and we're doing the chicken dance, the music gets what over time? Faster, and pretty soon you're all like this, and everybody's laughing so hard, right? So this Turkish folk dance gets faster over time as well. So just kind of keep that in mind, okay? Now, I'd like to, first of all, just teach you the different steps to it. Easy peasy, okay? That's all we're going to do. We're not even listening to the music yet, because there's a specific piece of music that goes with this dance, just like it should be, okay? So we're just going to learn the steps. All right. The first step is this. Just watch me do it, okay? And then we'll do it all together. We always start by going to our right. Hold up your right hand. Okay. Your other right. Right. Okay? We always start by going to the right. All right? And the first step is this, going to the right. Step, cross, step. And then you do a little hop. Hop. Okay? Then we're going to do the same thing going to the left. Step, cross, step, up. And then guess what? We're going to do the same thing to your right. Step, cross, step, up. And then guess what? Step, cross, step, up. Now, how many times can you do that? Is anybody counting? 4. So you're going to do that 4 times, okay? So step, cross, step, up, step, cross, step, up, step, cross, step, up, step, cross, step, up. Then, after that very complicated move, all you have to do is another hop. And then you do another hop. And then you do another hop. And then you do another hop. How many hops did we do? 4. Magic number 4. Okay? Then, after you do that last hop, your right hand's going to be up. You're going to point your toe. Anybody in dance class? You say dance? Okay, so we know about toe points, right? You point your toe. You go out, to the right. Out, to the side. And then back in. And the last move is the greatest move ever. You kind of squat down a little bit. Squat. And you're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beautiful. Let's do that again. You squat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? You switch all those things together, and you have a traditional Turkish folk dance called the Damat Hale. Everyone say that. Damat Hale. Okay? Do you think you remember all the moves? Let's try it once all the way through. You're going to start to the right. Okay? Step, cross, step, up, step, cross, step, up, step, cross, step, up, step, cross, step, up, up. Okay, all right. Good. Already got it right, all right. Okay, then we do our point, and what was our final move? I love that part. Do it again. I remember this because. All right, I'm going to play for you the Damat Hale music. And the first version that you're going to hear is with traditional Turkish instruments. Remember the pictures we saw up there with the stringed instruments, those really stringed wind instruments? So that's what I'm going to show you first. We're not going to do the dance together. Where is Tegan, Mary? You poor things didn't know what you're getting into, did you? We're going to make a straight line right here. Okay, so Tegan, you're going to stand right here. I'm going to go start the music, okay? Ladies on the outside, you're just going to watch, all right? You're just going to watch and soak it up. We're going to be also listening to those instruments because they're beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful, okay? You're going to try and find the rhythm. You might move your head. You might tap your foot. But I don't want you to do the moves of the music or of the dance of the Damat Hale just yet, okay? After a while, Mary and Tegan, you and I are going to start the dance. So it's going to be the 3 of us. Can you believe it? Right? So much fun. Okay, so the 3 of us are going to try to do the Damat Hale, so the traditional version. Okay? You ready? I think you might need a little bit of this. All right. Now, because we live in 2021, I thought we'd jazz it up a little bit. Is that okay? All right. So I'm going to show you, or let you listen to, another version of the Democole music. This is a modern version. This is where all of you get to test out your Democole skills. You know this because you've seen us do it, right? What direction are you going to start? Are you ready? You can spread out a little bit too if you start crunching into people and kind of bumping into people. Don't be scared about spreading out, okay? So we'll go through a couple of times and then we'll start our Democole, okay? That is so much fun. Now you've got, I know, I'm out of breath. I gotta go home and take a nap. No place for us. I gotta go home and take a nap.
You can't go home and take a nap.
Man, to do that, or what would you like to do?
Should we do the closing ceremony and get that done, leaders? And then
We can.
should we do that? I don't want to forget it. 10:36. What do you think, leaders? Should we quick go do the closing flag ceremony and then come back here? Well, that would, you want to talk about food back here?
That would be awesome because then I'll actually show them some of the things.
Perfect.
The pictures that I have left to show are just some pictures from one of the schools that I work with. So that might be fun for you guys to just simply take a peek at to see pictures of young girls and young students just like you guys in Turkey. And it's at one of the schools that I get to work with. And then we talk a little bit about celebrations. So those certainly are things that you guys could take a look at on your own. And then you guys are always welcome to contact me with questions if you want to learn more. Okay? So yeah, we can do that and then we'll come back. And we say we're going to talk about food, but I meant to make that a surprise. Just forget you ever heard anything else.
We're going to talk about something.
We're going to talk about something. Okay? Can you go ahead and close the ceremony?
All right, let's go back to sit down flag ceremony, folks. Go ahead and get where you need to be, please.
Oh, my ears.
Do I take that silly thing? I don't know how you're going to eat it.
It's very pretty though.
How you're feeling stacked.
I don't know how I would feel about wearing the dress. But it's very pretty. I bet it did a little extra.
You like actually, the rest of us actually.
I know, it's cool.
So I'm going to, because I want you to
Like,
figure
I
out
want to about it.
Yeah. I'm going to look
All right, Amy, we're ready whenever you are.
Color guard dismissed. Audience, thank you for joining us.
Ladies, can I share one more quick thing with you up on the screen? Would that be okay? Just one more quick thing. I'm going to buzz through. Buzz through some of the pictures from the school. I know part of your badge is about games. You can see they're playing chess. And they like to play soccer. They're big cities. All right. I love this picture. That's one thing I want to leave you guys with. What do you notice about this picture? Smiles. Oh, man. There they are. Okay, remember this little guy? Do you remember why he was up there? No, we remember why he's up there. Because Miss Kori loves kitties. And what's my kitty's name? Kedi. Yes, Kedi. K-E-D-I is Turkish for kitty. Well, our Kedi wanted to teach you one more little piece of Turkish language. Now, we'll start for the day. You can tell me one Turkish word we've already learned other than Kedi. What did we learn? Merhaba. Merhaba, which meant what? All right. I'm going to teach you this one now. Are you ready? This one is super, uber, duper fun to say. Everyone say gule. Gule. Say gule again. Gule. Now smush them together. Say gule, gule. Gule. Anybody want to take a guess as to what we just said in Turkish? What did we say? Turkish. Gule, gule. So now we know Kedi, we know merhaba, and we know gule, gule. I know this moment in time is not necessarily gule gule because I got a whole different thing to show you back there, but tuck that away, okay? Gule gule. You ready, friends? Should we go back and check out what's in these little boxes back here? All right. So I told you I had a lot of show and tell stuff from Turkey back here. And you guys are welcome to come back and look at this, okay? I always tell people, though, if they come back and look at it, and you girls know this already because it's in your American Heritage Girls Creed about respect, right? So just treat these things with the utmost respect. Remember I told you about olive oil? Here's some olive oil. Isn't that beautiful? The rich color. This is an empty olive oil bottle from Turkey. But the rest of this stuff is all from my friends and fellow teachers who live in Turkey. Except for, I should say, there's a couple Turkish books down there that I got from Amazon. So those don't really count. But you are welcome to come look at these. I want to point these out to you because a lot of times this is the thing that offers up one of the most often asked questions. And you're like, what are those shoes? Say, I don't know about you guys, but I think they look kind of uncomfortable. These shoes, this particular pair of shoes is very, very special. These shoes, actually, which of you are taking dance classes? You guys will really appreciate this. These shoes were actually worn by a professional Turkish dancer. So these shoes have seen a great story. And so you're welcome to look at these. Just be very gentle with them, okay? The other thing that I want to quickly point out to you, you guys up in front might be noticing that there's a lot of stuff with this thing.
It looks like,
right? Oh my goodness, did you notice this?
it looks like the elephant's.
Did you notice this? What is this?
It's the
Where have you seen that before?
flag.
And it's on here too. The crescent moon and the star. We saw that on our national flag, right? But what about this silly blue thing that looks like, well, what does it look like?
An eyeball.
Looks like an eyeball, doesn't it? Anybody wondering what this eyeball is? This has a great tradition to it. This is a great story. And you're right, it looks like an eyeball because it is kind of an eyeball. In Turkish culture, there is sort of a legend, sort of a tradition, that says if you have one of these things hanging in your house, like in a decoration, or maybe have it on a bracelet or earrings, or look at our elephants over here. There's also a legend about the 7 elephants in Turkey. It's for good luck. But look at their eyes. They have this special eyeball design, don't they? And there's a bead at the top that has that same design. You're going to see that everywhere. But legend has it, if you have one of these things hanging in your house or somewhere on your body, on a decoration, what have you, it means something. Now, this thing is actually called an evil eye.
An evil eye?
I know. But it's not like you think. The evil eye isn't called an evil eye because it's evil, but rather legend has it in Turkish culture that if you have one of these near you, the evil eye will keep an eye out for evil spirits, and it will protect you. So it's kind of a beautiful tradition in Turkish culture. But this is a symbol that will protect you. Sort of like Jesus and God does for those of us in our faith.
But it can't see because it's on something.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it can, right?
Yeah, but it's not a living thing, so it can't really see.
I'm hearing it. You got it, girlfriend. So this is, again, I think this is probably the thing that I get the most questions about is, what is that thing? So this is called an evil eye, not because it's evil, but if you have one close to you, it keeps an eye out for evil spirits.
Yes,
and it will
yes,
protect
yes.
you.
We already know that.
Right? Are you ready?
I have one question.
Now.
I have one question. Why are there pom-poms on the toes of the shoes?
Why are there pom-poms on the ends of their shoes?
It makes them look like elves.
Decoration, right? Because why not? I suspect that all of you are going to go home and have blue pom-poms onto your tennis shoes, right? Just for decorations, right? Let's shimmy on down over here, ladies. All right. Miss Kori. I'm going to marry up here. Miss Kori wanted to treat me. And so what I did, remember I told you Mary, where did Mary go? I don't recognize you without your beautiful dress on. Mary had that beautiful, more modern era style dress on, and I mentioned to you that I went down to Madison and found that at one of our Middle Eastern markets. Well, this Middle Eastern market that I love to go to is just fabulous, and it's filled with all sorts of things that come from Middle Eastern countries like Pakistan and Afghanistan and Turkey, all those wonderful places in that region of the world, and they have food. One of the things on your World Heritage badge listing that I got had something to do with foods from other cultures, and so I thought it would be kind of fun if I prepared you guys some little treats, okay? Now, I think there should be one for everybody, and I'm just going to open up one so that I can show you what's in here, okay? And I want you to know, moms, this is really important for me to tell you that when I prepared these, I was masked up, I was gloved, I didn't have the hazmat suit on, but I was all washed and everything, okay? That's important for me to let you all know. On the top of each box is also some nutrition information. I know we have some food sensitivities and allergies. I know I'm in that realm too. So it's important that we take care of our bodies, right? It's important that we honor our bodies. So I mentioned all of the different things that are in here. If there is gluten, and also if there's tree nuts or peanuts involved, and any other notes. And also I'm diabetic. And so I have to keep track of what I eat. I don't know if there's anyone else in here who's diabetic, but we have special bodies too that we have to honor. And so I put some of that information here in terms of carb counts and that kind of thing for instance. Okay? I have extras of those sheets if you want any. So when you open up your little box here, and mine got shuffled. Oh no! Okay. So there's quite a few things in here, all right? And I'll kind of go through these. This stuff right in here And all of this came from, except for one item that I'll tell you, all of this came from Turkey. So this is all food that's been imported to the United States from Turkey. In this first container is something called rose preserve. Now you guys might be familiar with preserves, kind of like a jam or a jelly, right? But this is rose preserve, not grape, but rose. So what went into making this preserve?
Roses.
What's our national flower?
Roses.
Roses. If you look at this stuff, you'll see there's some chunky stuff in it. And normally we'd be like, oh my gosh, there's chunky stuff in it. But rose leaves have been used to make this rose preserve. It's so yummy. One thing that I like to do with my rose preserve is I like to take one of these things. I'm actually going to touch this because I think we have enough for everybody. One of these things. These are called Turkish tea biscuits. They're like a cracker or a cookie. I love to take my Turkish tea biscuit and dip it into my rose preserve. Yummy. Yes, love?
I wish I could try it.
You can try it because you're going to get your very own. So you've got some Turkish tea biscuits. You have one of these things. What is this?
A gummy.
Everybody know?
An apricot.
An apricot, a dried apricot, a Turkish apricot. This apricot traveled all the way to you from Turkey. So this is a Turkish apricot. You can buy Turkish apricots in our grocery stores, but I thought it'd be kind of fun to go down and get like the real stuff, right? Uh-oh, thank you, dear. You also have some of these things in here. Now, these are not Turkish. What are they? It's pretzels. These are not Turkish. But I had to put pretzels in here because Miss Kori loves to take a pretzel and dip it into this stuff.
Nutella.
Nutella, yep. My favorite thing, other than just the regular spoon, is to take a pretzel and dip it into your Nutella because Nutella has what in it?
Chocolate.
Hazelnuts from Turkey, and you can actually get hazelnut spread down at the market. So you've got some hazelnut spread here.
Do you think Mom will let me have some?
Well, we're going to have to see. Speaking of hazelnuts, you all have a couple of hazelnuts, some roasted hazelnuts to enjoy.
What?
You also have this ooey gooey, sticky little square of stuff. Now, I'm thinking that you guys know more about Turkish culture when you first got here, even before I started talking. I think you guys knew more about Turkish culture than you gave yourself credit for. Have any of you ever read the book The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe? Some of you have it. Chronicles of Narnia. Awesome. If you haven't read it, Chronicles of Narnia. Now, there's a couple characters in the Chronicles of Narnia that stand out in light of Turkish delight. There's a part where Edmund, one of the children, goes out into Narnia and he's looking for his brother and sisters, and he comes across this really interesting and not so nice character called the White Witch, or the Ice Witch. Do you guys remember her? Those of you who've read it or seen the movie? Yeah? She's not a nice person, is she? Now, in order to lure Edmund back to her castle where she's going to capture him in hopes that the brother and sister come with them and she can capture them all and blah, 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 chaos ensues. She says in this story that Edmund was just the kind of boy she could lure with a box of her, anybody know? Turkish delight. Even before you got here, some of you read a book that had Turkish culture. This is Turkish delight. It's like a really sticky gummy bear. Okay, so this is a sweet treat from Turkey. In fact, it's stuck to my fingers. You also have a couple little candies. These are called Chewies. Chewies are fruit-flavored candies, also from Turkey. I hope you got a couple different flavors in here. You have some of this interesting stuff. This is called helva. And in some of yours, the helva is going to be really crumbly, so you might have to get a spoon or just dig in with your fingers. Helva is a really interesting tasting treat from Turkey. This one has pistachio nuts in it, and it's made with a paste that's created out of sesame seeds. It's a really, really interesting taste, but I encourage you to try it. And finally, the coup de grace, the icing on the cake, This fluffy stuff.
Yes, that's what I saw.
What in the world? Do you remember we saw one of the landscapes in Turkey? Do you see it?
There's also two.
Not yet. Not yet. One of the landscapes I told you about fairy towers, and I told you remember about fairies because we were going to come back to it. This fluffy stuff is called fairy floss.
Fairy floss?
Fairy floss. We have something in our culture that's similar to fairy floss. Anybody know what it might be based upon what you see here? Gigi?
Cotton candy.
Cotton candy, yeah. So, but this has a little bit of a more unique taste to it. It's also very sweet.
Yes.
Okay. Also, the last thing over here for food, and moms, I might have you help me out here, but we have two drinks that came from Turkey. One is a berry blend drink and one is a grape drink. Remember we looked at the grape on the picture? And this is a mixture of berries. So I've got some small cups here, and you guys can take a taste of those if you want to. And, of course, napkins to clean along the way. Okay? So all of those are here for you. If you want to take them home, wonderful. They're off for you. Last and final thing before Miss Kori says gule gule to you, I have a very special present I'd like to give to all of you. Okay? The people that I know in Turkey are very special to me. And the story of this culture is very special to me. And hopefully I've shared just a little teeny tiny smidge of that with you today. And I encourage you to learn more. Read books, ask questions, look at pictures. Okay? To share that special story with all of you, I wanted to give each of you one of these things. You know now the story of the evil eye, right?
Yeah.
It's not evil. It's a protection. And it's a wonderful tradition in the Turkish culture. And so I'm going to cry. You guys, this has been so wonderful for me. Some of you I just met today, and I feel like you are family already. I love you to pieces. I adore what you're doing in your lives. I adore your moms for joining you on this journey. You are amazing. You are smart. You are important. You are so, so, so kind. Thank you for having me here. And as a little gift, I would like to give each of you a little pin. And on this pin is a little eagle eye bead and a decorative coin. And these little pins, you could put them on your shoe, you could put them on your backpack, you could just set it on your dresser if you wanted to. But I'll give each one of you one of these as a little thank you gift for letting me come and visit you today, okay? I think what I'm going to do is maybe I'll count these out, and I'll give them to your leaders, and then they can hand them out when the time is exactly right, okay? But again, my dear girls, you are changing the world by being a part of this group, and for that I thank you. And thank you again for letting me come into your space today and share this story with you. You are amazing. And so with that, I shall say,
It's
gule gule. Good girl. Thanks, you guys. So.
Girls.
Yeah!